Cryptopapa.
Days to everybody watching this video. Welcome back to another video of Cryptopapa, where crypto is hard, but Papa makes it easy. My name is Conan, and before we jump into the market, this is not a financial advice, so please do your own due diligence and your risk management. So this is where we share across the platform with you regarding fundamental news and also technical analysis that behind the scene our wonderful team specifically do a lot of signals, find a lot of opportunities for you. Just we want you to earn as much as we do, and of course we want you to be on the same page with us. And let us jump straight into the market. So the main topic that I wanted to share it with you today is mainly regarding Pi. But before we jump to the topic, let's see our very first market of the day, the BTC USDT. So on the Bitcoin 1 hour chart, this is a symmetrical triangle where it is still structuring inside this channel, inside the structure, and it has yet to broken through the symmetrical triangle. So we might assume that it will be go and forth and back, all the way until when the candlestick has started to contracting, compressing, and even tightening. When they are on about this level, we should see a new direction, either going to the upside or to the downside. But in this case, assume that it might be going downward first. So as the super charts are showing us that on the BTC USDT liquidation heat map, this is a 24-hour super chart, and with the current movement of the candlestick, it will be soon approaching to the 116,000 area, or even we could see a lot of liquidity volume located at the downside. So we might assume that the candlestick, it might probably going to the upside first before it gets back and chasing all the way downward to accumulate more liquidity. And of course, if we are referring to this chart, changing back to the BTC, we might assume that it might go down with the 1-to-1 ratio of the symmetrical triangle. We might assume that once it got breaking downwards, plummeting all the way to the 100, and maybe just around this area, you should be more extra careful with your position, because the market are still in a lot of volatility state where the market is still in a panic situation, especially a lot of altcoins and dumping, or even a lot of consolidating might be occurring throughout this few days. So on the previous video that we had mentioning about full moon, or we call it as the waxing moon, on the upcoming 2 days there will be a full moon happening, and how does it affects in our daily trading system. So in a psychological explanation, usually for a waxing moon, it does affect our human behavior. It does influence our mood swings, and of course this is due to an illusory correlation. So in this case, how does it mentally affecting us as a trader in our daily trading? So usually during the 2 days before, there will be a situation where it tends to affect a lot of traders to FOMO, to have a kind of a panic situation where they are fear that they will be missing out. And during this period, we can predict or even we can anticipate that there are a lot of FOMO or a lot of hyping will be happening in these coming 2 days. And usually in this case, we can assume that a lot of altcoins or even a lot of cryptos will start to pump up following to the rejection over here. This might take a little bit more time. It's going to take a while before we will see another breaks out or to the downside. So let's move on to the Bitcoin's dominance. Same, this is a symmetrical triangle, and of course with the 64% of looking bearish, it is the same as the Bitcoins where it could potentially goes to the downside first. And of course we are referring to the liquidation heat map. So in this case, if the Bitcoins are going down, if the Bitcoin's dominance are also going to the downside, we can assume that the markets will be in a stable state, but it will not benefit to the altcoins market in this case. And as long as the BTC dominance are going down, we should see a lot of small caps or even the large caps will be stable and also will be consolidating or trading ranging. So we wait for the Bitcoin dominance to really breaks down, tumbling all the way to support and resistance area for to even deeper downside. So let me just give you the very first signal of today is the cross USDT. This is a nice C3 setup, the C1 over here, C2, and also C3. So we got a bull trap over here just on the couple of hours ago, and currently we are waiting for a smaller C, a C4, even we are waiting. As long as the candlestick doesn't drop underneath this SL area, it could mean that it is still looking bullish in this case. So let's hope for the cross. We'll be trading even more before we see another huge momentum. You should be sending the candlesticks through the upside. First TP we are setting at 0.34. Okay, so moving on is the DOGS dogs USDT. This is a very clean descending trend, and currently we are waiting to see how is the next movement of the candlestick. And of course, this is the pin bar. The next candlestick should not be breaking even lower than the previous lower low. So potentially this could be seeing a more momentum bullish to the upside, and hopefully it should be breaking through this trend line and to test the entries level first before we have a valid confirmation, and you can proceed to jump into the position after that. So we are still waiting, and of course these are the TPs that you can follow by. And please don't forget, I need to always reminding over and over again, remember to move along your SL because the market is still in quite a lot of chaos. So always bring your SL with you no matter how. And of course always set your SL so that you can protect your capital and you don't lose the market or your money. So moving next is the Contentus USDT. This is a pretty clean, decent triangle, and soon it will soon breaking out. And currently we set our safest entry position at 0.003636. And of course this is a bull trap. The market makers or even the institution that wanted to trap a lot of long position so that it can grab a lot of liquidity and to exploit a lot of long position. And as long as the candlestick doesn't drop under this structure, we are good to go and waiting for a valid candlestick to break out the structure trend line. So let me just draw it for you. We can wait all the way to break out and to retest this area before we see another upside surging through the top. So in this case, you can either put in partially of your position once you got broken off this area, or even you can wait for the best scenario is to wait for a valid entry breakout before you put in your position. So if we change the COS from the 30 minutes time frame to the daily chart, let me show you something. This is a very altcoin and also a very bottom level in the chart market. This is super bottom up, and it shouldn't be an issue for a long position because a lot of short position has been absorbed, and we should see a very strong surging at any given time soon. So the last undervalued gem signals of today is the Pi USDT. So let me just share some of the fundamental news with you regarding Pies. So even in this situation, Pies are dropping sharply all the way to the all-time low of 0.33. And on just a couple of days before, it drops all the way touching this area. We frame it and we call this as a discount zone. So this is our technical analysis setup. This is the discount zone where a lot of order blocks, a lot of money are placing in this area. So whenever the candlestick has been touching inside the zone area, it should immediately rebound back to the upside, to the opposite direction. This is a triangle, and as long as it doesn't drop below the discount zone area, it should be reflecting to the upside. Pinetwork has invested about $20 million into OpenMind's AI, which is a robotics company, and to fund a $20 million, it marks their very first major investment. And also a lot of potential company including Coinbase Ventures, Pantera Capitals, Ruby Capitals, and Secure China, and all this strong uphold company has been putting on together in order to fund this OpenMind company in decentralized AI infrastructure and also robotics field of interest. So what is OpenMind? OpenMind is basically a robotics startup company leading by Stanford professor Jan Lifford, who is building ONI, and they are doing a lot of things to, putting in a lot of words in different environments, or as they said, from the healthcare to the logistics. So how can we expect from the Pi core team, the PCT, how can we expect from them to, giving us a solid fundamental backup? And how does it going to push the Pi tokens value? So as everybody understands, Pi's real value is actually putting the use in our daily utilization to make sure that we are on the same footprint with the Bitcoins. How does the Pi's token or the behind the project, how does it going to push the Pi's value to even higher? So why that we are predicting for the current price action is just a temporary situation, and in the near future we are expecting that the price it should be going to exceed even far greater than the current price action value, and we are seeing on the very first target it should be going to $1 mark, and all the way from $1 to $5, and of course it will soon be exceeding $10 and even more higher than that, because it's worth more than $10. And in this case, why it needs to involve a lot of investment and also a lot of projects behind the scene. This is to further strengthening the Pi's token. As you know, Pi's token are essentially useful. It's going to be even more useful in a lot of daily basis utilization. We can use the Pi tokens in many transactions, or to even simplify our daily behavior. We can use the Pi tokens to do a lot of things, and of course, especially in our daily transaction. So there are a lot of implications that they are stating in this website. So it's going to be more visibility of Pi in next generation AI platform, and also in a more broader use cases in autonomous services and robotics. And of course, it's going to align with Pi's mission to back up the real world with the scalable innovation. So, and of course, there are a lot of receiving mixed reaction from a lot of supporters, and people are thinking that the investment is a bit alarming. And for a current Pi core team, it should be focusing on network integration and mainnet functionality. But the Pi core team has addressed the concern. And of course, the Pi network's investment in OpenMine is a big move into blockchain and AI to shape the infrastructure for decentralized robotics. So as a line between crypto, artificial intelligence, and robotics continue to blur, Pi network is positioning itself as the bridge between these emerging technologies. So of course that on the current price action value at 0.33 is either you should be buying the dip at this time, because it might be a last chance for you to buy the dip, and soon we are expecting that the price will be rebounded sharply to more than 0.33, and you can either buy the dip now, or you can start to accumulate more and more Pi's token to make sure that the value will be secure, and to make sure that nobody is going to waste the Pi's, nobody is going to dump the Pi's, and we need a lot of pioneers to accumulate more and more Pi. So back to the Pi technical crypto market chart, these are the channel that it should be ranging for a little bit more, and we should see and retest with a successful valid. We should be expecting that the price action candle, it will going to surge to test the entries level, and that's where you can enter partially or to wait for a valid confirmation before you place in your position. Okay, you can buy along in this case, or even you can put in partially of your capital to give it a taste, and you set tight on your stop loss, and it should be going well. And that's all for today. I hope you like this video, and of course on the coming 2 days a lot of signals will be popping out from our wonderful team, and stay tuned for the next video. I hope you like this video, and please do like, share, and subscribe to the channel for more content to support the community. And of course, I hope you get rich, and I will see you on the next video. Thank you.
Where crypto is hard, but Papa makes it easy.